All right, now, everybody. Quiet, listen to me. We're going to start a show. Now, some of you people have been with me before. You know it's going to be a tough grind. But we're going to have a show.
Yes. Good morning. I know it's Thanksgiving and we're here. I'm very excited about being here. Good morning to all the kids.
Morning.
Yeah. I have a special shout out coming up, but I'm just looking at all the kids who jumped on the stream early. Yeah, lay down a little funk for you, baby. Yeah. Good morning, Kim.
Morning.
Yeah. Good morning, John.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tony, wherever you are. Tony, we still love you.
Thanks, Tony.
Tony is working today, I think. He's on all kinds of crazy shifts. This is his side hustle to help us out. But it's really cool that everybody joined.
Morning.
I am aware of the fact that you have, on Thanksgiving Day, many choices. I'll remind you that I'm a Buffalo Bills fan.
What?
I'm a Buffalo Bills fan in the AFC.
Seriously, what the? Seriously, what the?
Niners fan of the NFC, but I am a Bills fan big time because I started my career in Buffalo. And so I am wanting you to be aware of the sacrifice that I'm making because my magnificent Buffalo Bills are playing on television right now. And so I am delighted to be with you. And I want you to know
don't worry, we're not going to lose any viewers.
No. It's going to be very interesting to see if anybody shows up here on this. We wanted to do a live Thanksgiving show because you guys have been so great and rallied and supported us, and we wanted to show you that we're serious about keeping this going. And so that was my thinking anyway. Why not do a live show? So we'll do this live show, and it'll be wall-to-wall live from now till noon, and we're talking politics, we're talking pop culture, Thanksgiving, the truth about the Thanksgiving story, and then is it 11:35? Jefferson Graham comes by, the longtime former tech writer for USA Today. He used to do this Tech Turkeys column every year in USA Today. He's going to do it here. He'll give us his tech turkeys.
Wait, are these like cyborg turkeys?
They are not. This is an appraisal of the tech community and technology over the last year, John. Nice try.
Well, that's cool too.
Yeah. Kim, I imagine because you're at your in-laws' house, or where are you?
My dad and stepmom's house. Yeah.
Okay. And is it a big Thanksgiving feast, for lack of a better word, that you?
It was until I brought a child here that then got sick and sickened the rest of the family.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep. My dad fell last night sick, and so everyone has been down for the count. My stepmom and I, we're the last people standing at this house.
Wow. That,
I know.
And it's eerie because the original Thanksgiving story, in a sense, mirrors that which you've just related, doesn't it?
Does it? I don't know. Does it? Tell me.
When the Pilgrims, they were not called Pilgrims then, but when the Puritans came to this country, they would have found a country filled, to the brimming, really, with Native Americans. But instead, they found a country with the Native American population essentially completely depleted, 90% of them dead. And the reason for that was a likely smallpox disease. It wiped them out. So with just 10% of the native people still there in America, it was like, wow, this is cool. Look at all this stuff that's already set up for us, and there's nobody using it. On one level, it was cool. On another level, there are challenges, right? You don't know how to provide for yourself. And there's more to the story than that, right? But and eventually the surviving native peoples did connect with the Puritans, and there were some moments of shared banquets But there were also some moments of slaughter and bloodshed. So we've kind of glossed over the latter and really played up the former. But more to the point, in Kim's case, there was disease, and that really reshaped America for the Puritans who arrived. And so I certainly know that this is only an allegory. You know, it's only a parallel that's going on in your home. I'm sorry that anybody was sick, but it is eerie that sickness does parallel the Thanksgiving story. Do you see what I'm saying about that? Thank you. Yes, very well. I'm sorry.
Well, in that case, yeah. No, I've tested everyone for COVID. People in the chat room are saying, she's spreading COVID. No, I've tested everyone, and it's not COVID, and we've all
I think you guys have RSV.
Yeah, John thinks it's RSV. He might be right. Maybe it's a common cold, whatever it is.
RSV is highly
Happy Thanksgiving,
contagious.
Jazz hands, that's the way it goes.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad you're healthy, Kim.
Thank you. I'm happy and thankful to be here on the Mark Thompson Show. And just to tell you that you are amazing to me, and I'm very thankful for you. We all got laid off from Station X, and almost immediately you turned around and you included John and I, and I'm very thankful for you and that we are able to keep going and doing what we love. So thank you for that. And thanks everyone in the chat room for listening. And whether you're financially supporting us or whether you're just tuning in or subscribing, I'm grateful that you've all made your way here and you're part of this team.
Oh, that's so nice. I think that really is. Yes, I think that's very sweet.
Wow. Did Mark write that?
I think we could use a little more of that, John. And a little less smart ass.
Whoever is producing this thing has no idea what they're doing.
Maybe we could have
You're doing a great job, MT.
5 minutes of gratefulness every day might be a good idea. It's just coming to me. I'm only spitballing.
Right.
But I think a
little
grateful.
Before we pray, pull out your phones.
That's right, before we pray. So what we asked everyone to do, and I also want to talk about something which I still don't know the answer to, is why yesterday's show started 9 minutes in, John? What happened?
I don't know.
We did a full show, and then on YouTube, let me just explain. I'm sorry to interrupt, but the show that is posted from 9 minutes in on. We don't know why.
This reminds me of an X-Files episode where they lost 9 minutes of time.
Oh.
So I'm going with like an alien abduction or radio interference plot. So that's where my money is.
In other words, you have no idea why it happened. I thought you might know. I mean, because you're kind of tech.
I went back to the source material, and that 9 minutes is missing.
Is that right?
So it could be the government.
From our feed, from the original feed.
It's gone.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What is
it? Could be the AI, because we know the AI doesn't like you.
Doesn't like me. Oh, no. Now all of a sudden it's... Let me ask you something, John. Is it possible, and I don't mean to, but is it possible that you, who put us on the air to begin with, might have made a mistake? Is that beyond the pale?
3 decades of experience in information technology, working for the Department of Defense, California State University system, working on network projects system-wide. Yes, it was me.
I'm just saying.
I wanted the first 9 minutes. I thought they sucked, and I wanted them to go away.
I'm not saying it was deliberate, John. I'm saying you might have screwed up. I mean, I know it's incredible, but I mean, it just is possible.
Well, I could screw up now if you want me to.
Yeah.
Boys, do we have to fight on Thanksgiving?
All right. I'm just trying to address the
He's just thankful
missing
for
9
all
minutes.
the hard work that I do.
That was my way of thanking him. Yes.
Yes.
In fact, you have to see it this way. John's work is so typically flawless.
I thought you were going to say thankless.
Oh.
All right. All right.
Wow.
John, please don't write my remarks of thanks
Hey, it's Thanksgiving.
For me.
I'm working on a holiday.
His work is so typically flawless that I felt that this 9 minutes, if it was owing to some mistake that John made, is even more extraordinary. That's kind of what I was saying. So there you go.
I'd like to note, Mary has chimed in to say that happens with another YouTube show that she watches. So It may be some type of YouTube malfunction. Who knows?
Oh.
Well, we do know StreamYard was malfunctioning the last couple days.
I'd like to tweet that we're on. Can somebody do that? I'll tell you this, any listener who's on Twitter who can tweet that we're on with a live show for Thanksgiving, but tweet the link, the YouTube link. You have to include that, please. You can just do it by hitting the share, of course. I'll retweet it when I get a chance here, but it's the one thing that always falls through the cracks. So I had one other thing for you. I wanted to ask you, and I will include you in the Authentic Thanksgiving Complete with Arguments. Exactly. What's the best Thanksgiving movie, I think, is, I shouldn't say the best. There's some great ones. And by the way, the ones that have, I was going to play you, and of course we can't play you clips from movies because we'll get copyright strikes, but I was going to play you the audio from some really funny arguments at the dinner table. And the problem is that they're replete with bad language. It would just, mother effers and it's a lot. And so I just decided, I'll leave it. But it is true that arguments are a big part of Thanksgiving. Somebody read Lori S. Gross's.
It says, Mark, Kim, and John, thank you so much for doing this live Thanksgiving show. For those of us not doing the family friends thing by choice or not, great to have you as an electronic pseudo family for just a bit.
Oh, that's very nice, Lori. And let me say this about that. As a single person for many years now, I've been in with my other half for 8 years. We've been together. But, and might I say, it feels like 8 years. It does. Anyway, I would say that I love the freedom of not being connected to any other activity. I feel the holidays, sadly, there can be this melancholia that sort of affects you because you're alone and everybody else is with family. You should look at it as freedom. So I think Lori has the right friends. They exist here. She connects with us. We read her remarks. We appreciate her being here, but she doesn't have to, dress up or, you know what I mean?
She's not obligated.
That's also a great name for a band, the Electronic Pseudo Family.
Yeah. That is great.
Nicely done.
That is great. The Electronic Pseudo Family. I love it. Well, so I wanted to touch on something. Can we move on here, or what would you like to do, John?
I want to say I'm thankful that I don't work for a corporation. And I look forward to never working for a corporation ever again in my life. So thank you.
Wow.
For not being a corporation.
This is, evil corporations.
We don't have to watch any of those corporate training videos.
Oh my God!
Or like the videos from the CEO as she's at her ski chalet talking to the masses.
You mean the Mark Thompson Show News Network is not a corporation?
No.
Mark's not going to send me videos.
Not an evil corporation, anyway.
Telling me I need to get out and sell. No.
It is true that we have a message of sales that I will give you. But first, I'd like to just mention Steve Moskowitz again on this Thanksgiving, because I really do appreciate Steve being our sole sponsor, our exclusive sponsor, and an elite sponsor. Again, we didn't have to make some deal with an erectile dysfunction company. And by the way, would have happily made that deal because we're trying to bring money in to keep, you have to, there's nothing wrong with erectile dysfunction companies and drugs, but I'm saying it would be, to hear that over and over might be difficult. In the case of Steve, you've got somebody who is really an elite sponsor. I call him that, meaning he's so well known. He's, super vetted, 30 plus years in the Bay Area, and he's helped so many people. And for him to be our sponsor for him to approach us, he approached us about being the sponsor for the show. And that essentially allows all of this to happen right now. So really,
and Nikki's show and Chip's show.
Yeah, and Nikki's show and Chip's show now. Chip's got a show right from 9 to 10. So good job, Steve Moskowitz. MoskowitzLLP.com or 888-TAX-DEAL, 888-TAXDEAL, 888-TAX-DEAL. By the way, are those guys doing shows today, or are we the only ones doing shows?
Nikki is taking the day off. She's got a big family thing going, and so she's going to do a show tomorrow, but not today. And I'm not sure about Chip.
Huh.
That's just a general statement.
Just not sure about Chip.
Yeah.
Chip sent me
he comes and goes. Yeah. Not on a rainbow, but
he while you're here, and I know our numbers are down on Thanksgiving, people are doing other stuff, but while you're here, definitely smash the like button like a boss and
smash it with your iron rod.
Smash it with your iron rod. The iron rod can also be used for subscribing. So as I've told you, please, at your Thanksgiving meal, have everybody take out their phones. They might have them out already. And say, hey, listen, I need everybody to do me a favor. I don't need you to ever watch this show, but I need you to go to YouTube and find The Mark Thompson Show and then subscribe. And that's it. All we need is subscribers. Don't need listeners. So would love for you to listen, love for you to engage, love for you to watch. But if you don't want to, that's fine. But please subscribe. So before the meal.
You could use your iron rod to tend to the fire.
No. That's right.
So it's kind of a built-in.
Oh, that's good. You feel like there are a lot of uses for the iron rod. Yeah. So anyway, smash it
with your iron rod.
Smash that like button, and thank you for being here. Now, much to do today, as I've mentioned. I've got. I want to address a couple of things, and I'll get into some politics. We'll keep everything a little on the light side. We'll also talk Thanksgiving, as I said. So we continue here. Mark Thompson Show.
The Mark Thompson Show.
The guy who shot up that club in Colorado, the Club Q. Yeah. The suspect is identifying as non-binary. Now, this is more than a story about who this guy is. You understand, they're going to charge him with hate crimes, right? A gay club, whatever the situation was. I think that this non-binary declaration may have more to do with that than any kind of real sexual identity of this guy,
or he may be trying to get away from the hate crime charge.
That's what I'm saying, right? Exactly. He's trying to skate away from the hate crime. But prosecutors don't care how you identify. They're going to go after you for the hate crime as well. Identifying as non-binary won't stave off possible hate crime charges for the shooting suspect, accused of killing 5 people, wounding 17 others at that Colorado gay club. Authorities said the shooter opened fire for nearly 6 minutes at Club Q in Colorado Springs before club patrons helped tackle the shooter to the ground and police arrived.
Compare that to Uvalde.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these club patrons could train the cops in Uvalde. The guy who tackled who was the guy, the former Iraqi veteran who tackled, was that in this club? Was that the lead tackler, the guy who went after him, was that here? I think so.
He was former military, I believe.
Former military. I thought he went to Iraq, but maybe not. But the Uvalde cops could be trained by all of these various people who become involved on their own. If you're waiting for the cops to rescue you, it's a crapshoot as to whether or not they'll actually, set up a perimeter. Remember what happened in Orlando in that mass shooting? That was another gay club. They set up a perimeter. They look at blueprints of I understand why they're doing it, but you don't have that kind of time, And sadly, so many people lost their lives because of that delay. So it puts a premium on people in the club or in the situation acting. The Pulse nightclub, yeah, exactly, in Orlando. Does Colorado have the death penalty? I don't know about that. Somebody's asking in the chat about that, John. Can you check
Google
that, please? I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say no. But perhaps they do. In any case, the declaration of being non-binary will not let this guy skate from these charges. The other awful thing about these shootings, and it's hard to keep track of them. They come with such, rapidity. They come with so quickly and frequently, might be the better word, is when the media goes to interview family members, parents, etc., you get all kinds of reactions. Typically, you get reactions associated with shame, right? With, I don't know how he could have done this. There were no indications of this. Or, and this has been the case, I think, recently, he was a troubled person. We tried everything we could for the good of his life to intervene, to bring professionals in for intervention, and we could never really get through to him. He became isolated. He cruised the dark web, and it's almost, I think, really always a he. So when I say he, I'm referring to all of these mass shootings because they're essentially perpetrated by men, overwhelmingly.
Information on the death penalty. Colorado banned the death penalty in 2020. So according to MSN, the suspected shooter could still receive a harsh prison sentence, but execution would be off the table.
That would be the way I guessed it. But what was the other side of this is, and they went to the father of the nightclub shooter at the gay nightclub, the Q nightclub. He had a reaction that was astounding. And John, do you have it?
Yeah, stand by.
Okay. This is the father of the shooter in the gay nightclub, and all he's concerned about is his son not being gay. Okay, his son has just, shot up and killed all of these people. Take a look.
There was a shooting involving, multiple people, right. And then I found later on to find it's a gay bar.
Yeah, right. And
I was like, oh my God, is he gay? As a scared, oh my God, shit, is he gay? And he's not gay, so it's
well, you guys had conversations about that. You were.
Oh yeah,
you
I was
you
adamant.
told him, yeah, you were adamant that gay is bad.
I'm a Mormon. I'm a conservative Republican, and we don't do gay. We don't do gay.
Yeah.
I can't get answers from the attorneys really, but they're saying that some of these, it's involving a gay bar or some shit. I don't know. I don't know what the heck you did if you have a gay bar. I don't know what's going on.
Well, he's accused of going on a mass shooting at a gay bar and killing 5 people.
Colorado.
Okay, well, that's shit. If he's accused of doing that, I'm glad he's not gay. I say that, but I'm glad he's not gay.
So that's what he took from it. Yeah. At least my son's not gay. He's not gay. We're Mormons. He's not gay. There's just such a... I see in the chat, the guy's not right in the head, but
I didn't know Mormons. It was okay to do meth if you were Mormon. Is that okay?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, I mean.
Oh, okay.
I think you get a ding for meth there.
You get.
Yeah, for that diagnosis. Yeah, you could see the way he's moving his head and leaning back. In my bartending days, we would identify that as a meth user.
Wow, I didn't know it was. He has that Billy Bob Thornton in Sling Blade look to him.
Yeah,
he has,
but you watch his eyes. You watch his eyes. You see his movements left to right. You see the way he leans back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every night on the street, meth.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, I didn't expect that his father, the shooter, is some respected doctor in the community who's,
right.
His work with charity has been known for decades now. I didn't expect that was the father we were going to see, but I certainly didn't expect that reaction.
It all makes sense. No, the reporter says your family member is accused of mass shooting. Oh, okay. He says, oh, okay. Well, at least he's not gay.
Right.
What?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I don't think he was reading to his child.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Pretty awful. Pretty awful. And they talk about grooming and all that crap, all this stuff. I mean, there you go. And that kid is essentially being ruined from the very start. And then at age 22, he ends up doing what we saw him do. Comedian Sinbad is learning to walk 2 years after his stroke, according to his family. You have lifted his spirits along the way and inspired the entire family, the family wrote in a post for the holidays. His family's created a website updating fans about Sinbad. He was in House Guest. Remember that movie? He was hot for a while. And I actually I do have a Sinbad story, everyone. I do. I know. I was on the New Year's Eve show that he hosted for Fox.
Do you know who I am?
I don't mean to, but I'm just saying. He was the host. It was in Las Vegas, and I was the guy that when Sinbad would throw out to me, I go, yeah, Sinbad, at midnight tonight, we're going to, they're going to implode this hotel and blah, 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 whatever it was. I forget there was something that was going to happen at midnight. So when I was going to meet him, he was at the height of his, he was really hot at the time. And he comes bounding out of the trailer, and I'm walking toward the production office, and we're passing. And I go, hey, Sinbad, Mark Thompson, I'll be on the show with you tonight. And he goes, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Bam, out. That was literally the only, and I'll never forget that exchange. It was quite lovely. Yeah, it wasn't the length of the exchange that was so special. It was the intensity of the moment. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's a show business shorthand. You guys probably can't get it. But I could tell he wished he could have talked to me longer, but he really had to move along. That's what I got from that exchange. The way he said, hey, nice to meet you, and then kind of booked right away. I could tell he was a little awkward. He was so into me as a talent that he had to kind of, jump off the line type thing. So there's that. Yes, my Buffalo Bills are playing on television today. Yes, there is the Thanksgiving Day parade. Is there any word about any of the floats blowing away or any of that? Kim, do you have any? Is there a breaker on that?
I have no breaking float news, but I am. The Mark Thompson Show News Network is on top of it. And should there be a breakaway float, we'll bring it right to you.
No. On the text line about Sinbad, let's see.
Why don't you just text it?
Motor X says Sinbad is in recovery from a stroke that he had, and the medical expenses are enormous. He's currently trying to raise money to pay for his medical expenses in recovery. Thank you. Good knowledge from Motor X.
Sinbad doesn't have money?
I'm surprised, man. He made a lot of money. A lot. He was headlining Vegas. He was starring in movies, that he was opening movies, meaning he's the top-line star. So I'm surprised. But, so it goes. I got the game up too, Mark. I'll keep you posted. Thank you, CJ, for the, my Bills playing against the Detroit Lions today. 14. Oh, okay. There you go. Jules with the update also. Okay. Willits is checking in. The dad was on the show Intervention. Is that right, Lisa?
And a porn movie actor.
What?
Oh.
It's why the kid changed his name.
That's great knowledge, I have to say. I'll ding you for your knowledge. That's really cool. Now I need to know more about this guy's background. I was only concerned with the legal part of it, but apparently there's a lot more going on there. Jeez, he's a problem. Comes from a bizarre background. The dad now looks like, he looks like, 15 miles of bad road. So today on the show, by the way, the noted longtime USA Today tech writer, now, formerly doing that, he's now got photo walks and throughout the Bay Area. His dad, Jerry Graham, was legendary in the Bay Area. He'll join us, and he's got all kinds of stuff for you this Thanksgiving. His tech turkeys, his latest itinerary that is, he says, personalized for his cousin who's visiting L.A. and personalized for, he says, his cousin and the rest of you. That's his latest photo walks, and we'll ask him about that as well. So those of you going to Southern California, maybe over the holidays, he's got places for you to stop and places for you to take pictures. That's all his frame of reference is always the great pics. So thank you for joining us. We've got special shout-outs today. I see how generous everybody is being this Thanksgiving. We so appreciate it. I'll have all those shout-outs to come as we continue. Kim's News next. I'm grateful Kim and John are both here, and we are rocking a live Thanksgiving show. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. I so appreciate you being here. More thanks coming in just a moment.
The Mark Thompson Show.
From the Mark Thompson Show News Network, I'm Kim McAllister. This report sponsored by tax attorney Steve Moskowitz at 888-TAX-DEAL. Now is not the time to walk away from Ukraine, that according to President Biden. Speaking to reporters on the Massachusetts island of Nantucket, he said there were questions during the most recent election about whether Republicans would keep supporting Ukraine. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, poised to become House Speaker next year, said last month that there wouldn't be a blank check for Ukraine as it fights a war against Russia. President Biden made his remarks one day after authorizing another $400 million assistance package for Ukraine. A former House Republican speaker standing by his criticism of former President Trump. Speaking to the Washington Post, Paul Ryan said the results of the midterm elections mark another fresh set of evidence that we lose with Trump. Republicans did win the House, but failed to retake the Senate this month. And Ryan said, but for Trump, the GOP would have taken both chambers. He also insisted each election result since 2018 is more than enough evidence to know that we need to turn the page and go to the next generation. New York City is home of the world's tallest residential building, but it's about to lose that distinction to Dubai. The current record holder is Central Park Tower in Manhattan. It has 98 floors, stands 1,550 feet tall, but a new hyper tower will be going up in Dubai that tops 100 floors with a crown made of diamond-shaped spires. A wrongful death suit being filed against Stanford University by the family of late soccer player Katie Meyer. She died by suicide earlier this year. The lawsuit claims the actions which led to her passing start and end with Stanford University. Last year, she allegedly spilled coffee on a football player accidentally who was accused of sexually assaulting her teammate. The school thought she had done it on purpose. She insisted it was an accident. She was later told disciplinary action was pending against her. The lawsuit says she was told her diploma was being held just before she was set to graduate. Working from home becoming new normal for many in California. A census survey shows nearly 20% of adults live in a home where at least one person is remote 5 days a week. It's about 33% say someone in their home dials in at least once a day. Before the pandemic, that number was 6%. It's all changed in 2020, and now more companies have kept employees remote or on a hybrid schedule. And football fans being treated to a triple header of NFL action this Thanksgiving. The Buffalo Bills, can I get a whoop whoop, are playing their second game in a row in Detroit. However, they are actually going up against the Lions this time after having their game against the Cleveland Browns moved to Detroit last weekend because of a huge snowstorm in Buffalo. Second game of the day features an NFC East showdown. The New York Giants facing the Dallas Cowboys in Arlington. The night wraps up with the New England Patriots against the Minnesota Vikings. And the news is sponsored by tax attorney Steve Moskowitz. For more than 30 years, Steve has put his tax knowledge to work for individuals and for businesses. So if you're looking for tax help, call Steve. It's 888-TAX-DEAL or online, moskowitzllp.com. I'm Kim McAllister on The Mark Thompson Show.
They had to close down an entire radio station to silence him. And now he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Thompson.
Having seen what you saw up close for 4 years, do you think there is a danger in Donald Trump being president again?
Well, I'll always be proud of the record of the Trump-Pence administration. And obviously it didn't end well. The president and I parted amicably. I believe as we look to the future that we'll have better choices.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Who's Mark Thompson?
Oh, it's such a pleasure to have you all with us on this Thanksgiving Day. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Hope in all of your lives there's something to be thankful for. Sometimes it's life itself, right? Not to be too heavy about it, but just saying. You can always find that if you want to be thankful for something. You can start there and work out from that. Now, my thanks. Wow. Is this for real?
That's not fake.
That's not fake. That's real.
That's not fake. That's real.
It's just extraordinary. Happy Thanksgiving, Mark, John, Kim, and Tony. Your show is one of the highlights of my day, and I'm delighted that you decided to have a show today. Joanne, Blickensderfer, and I love that last name. Joanne Blickensderfer, I want to tell you, $100. I'm not gonna, but I am.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
I'm not gonna.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
I'm trying not to.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
That is well over the number that usually gets me to tears, Kim. You know that. I'm usually at
I'm
that.
not gonna cry. I'm not
How
gonna
can
cry.
you not? How can you not tear up? It's true.
I will give you a big Dan Ashley shout out.
Big shout out.
And I will give you a.
Thank you so much.
I'll give you a thanks so much. And because it's $100,
Thank you very much.
A Will Smith thank you. And I'll give you the thank you.
Thank you.
That's about the best I can do.
You know, and
That's
you have
really
experience pronouncing her last name. Do you remember that NASCAR driver when we had a recording session? You had to record something that had that last name. Remember?
Is that right, John? You got a great memory. I don't recall that.
You recall you did a bunch of like voiceover for NASCAR, and one of the drivers' names was Blickensderfer.
Blickensderfer. Well, let me say there's only one Blickensderfer in my life, and that's Joanne, everybody. Thank you for the $100. Wait a minute. Are you kidding me? Patricia T?
You guys.
You are magnificent, Patricia. Happy Thanksgiving to Mark, Kim, and John, and the gang who make it happen. Such fun. Patricia T, $100.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
I'm saying it's close.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
That's.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
But you can understand why I want to cry. Patricia, I am going to give you the big Dan Ashley shout out.
Big shout out.
I'm also going to give you, I'm going to throw.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'll throw in the British.
Thank you very much.
Oh, the Will Smith. Okay.
Thank you so much.
That's the British. I'm going to hitting you with that too. And I'm going to give you also a thank you.
Thank you.
That's everything. I appreciate it very much. I really do. Extraordinary. Thank you. Joe, also, I really am going to cry.
Are you feeling
Happy
the love today or
Thanksgiving,
what?
all. Thanks for the show.
Thanks, Tony.
Wow. Now, where is
I'm not gonna cry.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna cry.
I'm not going to cry.
We might have to get you some artificial tears.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
How do you not cry at this point?
Joe, I want to give you a big Dan Ashley shout out.
Big shout out.
I'm going to throw in.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you so.
Thank you very much.
Well, go back and give her the full.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The Will Smith, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And I'm going to give you the thank you.
Thank you.
What can I do? It's really, really great. Thank you very, very much. Lori B., Theraflu contribution for Kim's family.
Thank you very much.
If you're joining late, Kim's family has been hit by the flu.
Something.
Yeah.
Cold.
Or something. They're not sure. Not COVID. They tested for that. At least it hasn't tested positive. Those results are, Theraflu contribution for Kim's family, and thanks to everyone putting the show together. Lori B., $50. I mean, $50 is still the threshold by which I'm not gonna, but
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
I'm
not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
So impressed, Lori. Thank you very much.
Big shout out.
Big shout out. A Dan Ashley shout out. And a
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And a British.
Thank you so much.
A British thanks so much. Lee Kopp, regular listener from the radios, come over here, send us a bunch of emails too. Eileen and I wish you, John, Kim, and Tony, a happy Thanksgiving. Much success with the show. We are so grateful to have you back and better than ever from the ashes of KGO. Wow, I love that, Lee.
Thank you.
Lee,
I'm not gonna cry.
I'm not going to cry. $50, though, is cleanly in the cry area.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
Big Dan Ashley, shout out to Lee.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you. Tom N, 4050. Wow. Thank you guys for working today. You could have easily put Cars for Kids on an endless loop. With Doug Andrews singing along in the background, no one would fault you. Here's $8.10 times 5. Happy Turkey Day. Wow. Thank you, Tom. So cool.
Tom.
I'm not going to cry, but all of these donations are really big time.
Volatility.
Market volatility. Most expensive day that you'll ever have for the money you put away is the day you take it out.
So drain your 401k and your life savings and give
Doug
it to
Andrew
me.
here. Take out that money and call me. We have seminars this weekend in Concord, in San Jose.
Manteca, Lathrop.
He sounds like a
I have a
one of
little
those
visitor
guys
to my
who's the
Hello.
Oh, hi.
That's Jacob. Say hi, Jake.
Hi,
Say
Jacob.
Hi, Mark. Say hi, Mark Thompson.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Jacob. You know, Jacob, the most expensive day for you and your savings is the day that you take them out.
What do you call a three-humped camel?
What do you call a three-hump camel? I don't know. What is it?
A joke from Zootopia. What do you call a three-humped camel?
He says he doesn't know. What is it?
What is it?
Pregnant.
Oh.
Come on. Come on. Very, very strong.
Whoever is producing this thing.
Maybe he is. It's possible he's producing it. That was very, very nice. Thank you.
It's fantastic. Sorry, he invaded my studio, my
Gilbert
dad's
Peck.
studio. So.
No, it's cool. Yeah. I thought that was any new material is always welcome. Gilbert Peck on this Thanksgiving Day. Happy Thanksgiving to the entire team. Gilbert, shout out.
Big shout out.
Yeah. Big shout out and a thank you.
Thank you very much.
Will Smith, thank you very much. I'm thankful for you guys. Thanks for keeping the show going. From 415 Steve. What up?
Thank you.
415 Steve.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Really do love that. Thank you. Have anything planned for Thanksgiving? Michelle Crocker for $1.99 is asking. We're going to a thank you, by the way, Michelle.
I'm just over the moon. Thank you so much.
I know. First of all, let me say, and then I will talk to Michelle and everybody. But that is really super generous from all of you. Really super generous. I have to say, the challenges associated with doing this are massive, much more than I expected. And I thought we could take the radio show over here. I thought we could try to take all of us who are out of work and give us work, and it's something that we love doing, and reconstitute it in this YouTube way. I chose YouTube because I felt it was the easiest thing for people to get. I know some of our audience is not super tech savvy, and I myself am tech challenged in many ways, so I'm quite sympathetic to that, and I thought YouTube would be a platform that people were familiar with and that they could interact with. It would allow us to build community, and I had no idea that we'd be able to build this community in the way we have. And when I say we, I mean you guys have built that community. You guys come here. You guys speak with each other. You guys get to know each other in the chat in ways that I never could have expected. But the challenges in doing it have been massive, and they continue to be massive. And John has stepped up, and Kim has stepped up, and Tony has, really ridden in like the cavalry to make a lot of the technical stuff happen. So to see you guys ride in like the cavalry by supporting us in the ways you have, huge difference. And Steve Moskowitz, being our sponsor, I mean, you can see how the thanks, it covers a broad spectrum of people and things that have to happen. But I'm aware of how important you guys are. So thank you very much for being here, and thank you for all the ways you support us. And I'm really humbled and gratified by the way you stepped up and have contributed with dollars and with good feelings. So thank you. That's I really do feel that way. Let me do this, John. I don't want to leave out anything glaring. I can't decide whether to do some political stuff or if I should give you the big news on...
It's Thanksgiving. I think we should go lighter.
Okay, so let's go lighter, and then I will tell you something that I'm doing something that you may be doing or that you may be doing in the new year, and I'd love to know if you're doing it, and now I'll tell you why. Apparently, us doing it may raise the risk of our early deaths, everybody, so that's a very nice...
I said lighter. Lighter.
Yeah. So here it is as we continue. Mark Thompson Show.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Intermittent fasting. I do it. It's not hard. I won't have any food until after we get off the air, right? So it's easier for me. And then, I don't have breakfast before we go on. And then around 1 o'clock, I'll eat, and I'll eat till about 10. So that's a pretty big window.
Wait,
right?
You eat for 9 hours?
Well, I was going to say I don't eat continuously.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just, but I'm saying that is my window of available time to eat.
Well, maybe
that's
today,
the way we do it. Yeah, today it might extend it a little bit. Yeah. So there are a lot of celebrities. It's become very much in vogue, and there are a lot of celebrities who are jumping on board with this intermittent diet thing, right? Intermittent fasting, they call it. So you establish a window, and in that window, you can eat. Outside that window, you cannot eat. So the idea is that your body burns off more than it takes in. I mean, you do also still have to, watch what you put in your mouth, all that stuff. But, the Mark Wahlbergs of the world, the Kourtney Kardashians of the world, they're also in these intermittent fasting. They say it may raise your risk of an early death by 30%. This is a new study tracking 24,000 Americans over 40 from across the U.S. They tracked these people for 15 years. Compared to 3, 1 meal a day is linked to 30% of raised risk of all-cause death, they say. Skipping breakfast was linked to a higher chance of dying from a heart disease.
Oh.
But missing lunch or dinner appeared to raise the risk of deaths from any cause. Results remained even if people exercised and ate healthy and rarely smoked.
Wow.
This is troubling, isn't it? I don't know what to do.
How would you handle this? We could try ignoring it, sir.
I think I may have to ignore it. A list of celebrities, as I mentioned, is, it's the thing. It's as long as your arm. The Hugh Jackmans, the Jennifer Anistons of the world, they all do it also, this intermittent fasting.
Wait, so the Kardashians are doing it? So this isn't all bad news.
No. I think they may outlive me. But they say here, ironically, one of the main benefits cited by followers of intermittent fasting is longevity. May go back to the drawing board on that. In the latest study, skipping breakfast was linked to that higher risk of dying from heart disease, and missing lunch or breakfast appeared to raise the chance of mortality in causes beyond just heart disease.
Have they tried portion control?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that might be the way to go. I don't know. Wow, that is real. I mean, I always thought intermittent fasting, really, that's something I've been doing for a couple of years now. Huh.
I read it's healthier to have little things to eat more often. So you have breakfast, and then you have a very small snack, several grapes or something. Then you have lunch, then you have a very small snack. You might even have another small snack before you have dinner.
Right.
You don't want that stomach bloat, like you're a snake digesting an entire turkey. It's not good for your system.
Yeah, I have heard about that small meal thing too, and about how it's like your metabolism is supposed to be raised the whole time or whatever. I had a dietitian on, I think on KGO. We should get her back. She's a world-renowned dietitian. I think she's published a bunch of books, and she's really good. In fact, we will have her on because I want to ask her about this intermittent fasting, and I want to ask her about Kim's thing, which is not, Kim didn't invent it, but she's talking about something which has been well reported, which is, small meals throughout the day or snacks in between meals. She originally told me, I think it was on the KGO show, it was a while ago, a couple of years ago, that is not good necessarily, the small meals, because your body is then in a constant state of digestion. She said your body actually changes the state that it's in when it digests stuff. So you have to give your body a rest between meals.
Okay, I give up. I give up.
I know, exactly. Like, seriously, man? It's like...
Seriously? What the...
Yeah, where do I run? Anyway, that's what my recollection is. But we'll get her in, and we'll make the full list of questions, and the audience can provide questions as well, and we'll ask her,
I love Lin Shim Shoyan. I've so far outlived everything I've done to myself.
Yeah, when I go, it ain't the intermittent fasting that's taking me down, guys, okay? Well,
there's always those 100-year-old women who are like, yeah, I have a gin cocktail every day and a smoke, some chewing tobacco.
And they're fine, exactly. And 60 Minutes does that piece every few years on the people who have, managed to, live the longest. And the cocktail thing is pretty consistent too. So I don't know. I think
I'd be willing to bet my lunch that
there's alcohol involved. Yeah, I mean they seem to be happy too. Look, happiness has a lot to do with it. Although the last thing I'll say is, and you'll meet them at your Thanksgiving meal probably, the people who are, craggly and angry, and they seem to do pretty well also. It's not as though. Anyway,
they probably reduce their stress by hiring someone to take care of their taxes.
I know. I see it. I see that Steve is here, and we're welcoming him into the show as well. Mark Thompson Show. Mm-hmm.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Please welcome in. I was going on about you before in sort of a quasi-poetic way as we give thanks to everything. We are so thankful to this guy. He is he's a gift because of what he's allowed us to do, which is keep the show going. But he's also a gift because you are terrific and you're prestigious, and it's really a pleasure to have you on your show. Tax attorney and expert Steve Moskowitz, everybody.
Thank you so much, Mark, and I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for your listeners and viewers. We have a great life and a great country. And, at this time, you think about, we can talk about whatever we want. If we choose to criticize the government, that's fine. We don't have to worry that troops are going to drag us out of our home the next day. We couldn't have this show in a lot of countries, or we'd be in some gulag. And I'm very grateful for that. And, there's so much for us. It's like at this time of year, I know it's the holiday time and people joke, but we start thinking about tax planning because, the end of the year is next month. We have about 5 weeks left. And there's so much that we can do to save people taxes. And, our firm has grown. We have a whole department that does that now, just meets with you and says, you can do this and this and this. And that's what small business needs, because what happens, big business has lots of people like me in lots of different departments doing all kinds of things for them. Small business, they can't afford a bunch of full-time people like me to do this. But what we do is we offer a service where we come and say, okay, look, we can do the tax plan and all the types of things that businesses need, but you don't need it full-time. And that's how little businesses, small businesses, medium-sized businesses can prosper, take advantage of, and we talk about tax savings, but because we've grown to a size, there's other things that we do for clients now too. Basically, we go into a small business and show them there's just so much available, just like the big companies do. And a small business, the owner is working himself or herself a lot of hours really hard, and they don't have the time. They probably don't have the knowledge too. I don't know how to do dentistry or carpentry or anything like that. I've dedicated my life to taxes. Somebody else has dedicated their lives to the restaurant business. They don't know about this stuff, but there's so much there just for the asking. And I'm thankful that we have all these things. And I'm thankful that we live in a government where we can do all these things, talk about it freely, and not have to worry, some troop is going to drag you off to a gulag.
I think that's a great reminder, yeah. And we've just seen so much evidence now of just that, what you're talking about. But I also like that you underscore that tax planning provides opportunities. I think everybody should understand everybody has an opportunity. And when you're filling out that tax form, it can seem straightforward to you, but to Steve Moskowitz, there are real opportunities there for everyone, every small business owner, individuals, etc. Reach Steve at 888-TAX-DEAL, 888-TAX-DEAL, 888-TAX-DEAL. Steve, we so appreciate you. We say it all the time, but really give thanks on this day where we recognize especially those things that we're thankful for. Really appreciate you being here. Thank you.
And thank you. And, I give thanks to you and Kim and John and everybody associated with the show. It's just so when we get together and talk, and you perform such a service for your listeners, because so many of my clients have said they're so happy that you're here. And the ones that didn't know that you'd come here, and I told them, they were so happy and relieved. So you're doing an awful lot for the community as well, Mark.
That's very gracious of you to say. Thanks. Steve Moskowitz, everybody.
Thank you, Steve Moskowitz. Happy Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Mark Thompson Show.
season, as you know, has coincided with COVID-19 and this RSV.
So they're teaming together?
They are teaming
like a
up
really
like
bad
never
movie.
before. Yeah, right, like never before.
It's called the triple-demic.
Yeah.
If you get it in order, you get extra points.
COVID-19, flu, and RSV. The best way to avoid getting these things, or getting the flu anyway, they say.
Stop eating?
Yeah, it's apparently the intermittent fasting, which is doing it now. They say that touching your face, remember when they used to say that at the very beginning of COVID? And we were all aware of how much we touched our face?
Right.
They say that that is the biggest way that this flu virus is transmitted. You touch your eyes and you touch your face, and we do it, without thinking about it. But the reality is, if you want to, this holiday season, avoid the flu and other viral illnesses, don't touch your face if you can remember not to. I mean, again, we do it without thinking about it. But again, doctors are urging people to take steps to avoid the flu, coronavirus, and the respiratory virus RSV. The one point I want to re-emphasize, says Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, is avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. He's at UC San Francisco. He's the associate dean there. Very good studies have shown that if we can double down our efforts to be vigilant about this, that will increase our chances of staying flu-free. The risk is that some viruses can survive for days on hard surfaces. According to the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, people can be infected with flu and RSV by touching a contaminated surface and then touching their face. The coronavirus, by contrast, typically is spread through what? The air. All that stuff that we did at the beginning of COVID-19, where we're talking about wiping off stuff that comes
bleaching
in.
Your groceries.
Yeah. We had literally like an antechamber set up with any deliveries that they would go there and they'd 48 hours, we'd let the virus die or whatever, and then we'd open up the boxes. That's all, as it turns out, really not germane to the spread of the coronavirus, the COVID-19 coronavirus. But flu and RSV actually are part of that world of things that can be spread by you touching your face.
Well, it's interesting to note that when we started cleaning like that, no one at KGO was getting sick. Before that, people were getting sick left and right. But for about a year after the beginning of the pandemic, you remember this, Kim, no one was getting sick. No one was calling out.
Yeah.
So you're sort of suggesting that you think that there is something to the fact that these things exist on the surface?
Oh, definitely. When we're talking about the common cold and flu.
I see what you're saying.
No
So
one.
you're saying-
It used to be people would have the flu, and then like 4 people would be out. 3 people would be out because the radio station's a 24/7 operation.
Sure.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
Well, the computers are working 24/7.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah.
But
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
Well,
24/7.
But it was notable because our boss said no. Our boss said no one was claiming sick time. For
wow.
year
Right.
and a half.
So the phobia we had around COVID-19 essentially spilled over and actually had a positive effect on others getting sick. That's really cool. Yeah, interesting. We'll take a break for Kim's news. There is stuff going on this Thanksgiving Day. We are a live show. I will ask you again, as we all show up on Thanksgiving, for you to smash that like button like a boss.
Smash it with your iron rod.
Even if you're watching in replay, please smash the like button.
Smash it with your iron rod.
And as I've told you before, at your Thanksgiving meal, please get people to subscribe to the show. They never have to watch, but the subscription will help us. We're headed to 10,000. When we get to 10,000, we can monetize in ways that we just can't do, that we just can't. I guess would be the way to say it right now.
It's the YouTube rules, right?
Yeah, the YouTube. It's crazy. I mean, I'm
sorry,
learning
Mark.
more about YouTube and the restrictions.
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I
I'm
do.
just saying that I need to get to 10,000. So every little bit helps. But in the
whoever thought would be YouTubers?
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I used to make fun of those people, YouTubers. Yeah. And here we are.
My friends who are YouTubers are doing well, so I don't make fun of them. But I know what you're saying, that it's sort of like those of us in legacy media, like in a radio station, all the rest.
Right.
All that stuff, the infrastructure of reaching the audience and everything, it's all handled. We just crack the mic. You do the news. I did a show.
Right. Yeah.
John produces the show. I mean, it's wild. John and I only worried about content before, and that's my thing. And then I'll go to Kim's news. I'm a content guy. I can help, and if I have a producer like John who's really good, I can collaborate with the producer, and we can come up with good content, good guests, a good attitude, a good vibe, some fun things we can do on the air, all of this stuff, right? That's my thing, is content. Now, that's just one of the things I need to worry about. We now have to worry about YouTube and copyright strikes and monetization and reaching certain thresholds and trying to break out pieces of the show so you can watch audio and video clips of the show. And all of that is a process. Yeah, podcast engineering. Tax forms that have to be uploaded to where it's so, and I hate it. I hate that stuff. I'm a content guy. Let me do the show. I'm not here to build the sets and the theater. Let me do the show. So it's been an immense challenge, and that only underscores how grateful I am that you guys have kind of been along for the ride with us, and it will, in every way, probably be different and better as we progress and evolve. But for the moment, so glad that you're here, and you've made a real difference in us getting started. So Kim's news, and then we continue. Jefferson Graham in the next hour. Mark Thompson Show.
The Mark Thompson Show.
It is the Mark Thompson Show Network News. I'm Kim McAllister. This report sponsored by tax attorney Steve Moskowitz at 888-TAX-DEAL. President Biden is keeping close tabs on a pending rail strike, even though he hasn't directly gotten involved in those talks yet. That's what he said on this Thanksgiving during remarks to reporters in Nantucket. The president adding that his team has been in contact with both sides. If a deal is not reached soon, a strike could take place next month. Twitter's new owner says getting rid of child exploitation is the social media platform's top priority. Elon Musk tweeting that in response to a user. He said people should comment if they see anything that Twitter should tackle. In a separate tweet, Musk said users outside the U.S. will see big improvements in Twitter speed. The risk of engine fires in some Ford vehicles leading to a recall from the automaker. The worldwide recall for more than 630,000 Ford Bronco Sport and Ford Escape SUVs with 1.5-liter three-cylinder engines. Officials say a cracked fuel injector could lead to fuel spilling on a hot engine and starting a fire. The next mayor of Oakland is getting ready to work. Sheng Tao making her first appearance yesterday, her first public appearance after her historic election win. She says she plans to focus on safety, getting guns off the streets, and tackling the housing and homelessness crisis. She says that involves doubling down on violence prevention programs and creating more jobs. She's also promised to support small businesses, calling them the city's backbone. Maybe looks a little different in San Francisco today. That is because new public toilets are coming to San Francisco. One is already turning heads. It's because it looks like something from outer space. It's a metallic pod along the Embarcadero. It's the first of 25 self-cleaning toilets to be installed. They'll replace the old green ones that have been around for years. Yes, they're designed to be very modern and sleek potties. City officials say certain restrooms will also be staffed to make sure that people feel safe. And Nintendo is getting a sales record with
That's
its
a gig that I
You don't want to staff the toilet? No.
On the well, yeah. I always say that whatever job I had, I try to do it with some pride of ownership. You know what I mean?
Mark
Like
Thompson,
I try to
potty guy.
Yeah. But, but if that's where you are, then, do the job well. Yeah, I think I'd be a good potty guy. I think I'd have one of the cleanest and well-run public toilets in all of San Francisco.
Would you give a time limit for people to be in and out? Like tell them as on the way in, okay, you've got 3 minutes, you're in, you're out, go.
If that was my job, I'd say, hey, I hate to say it, but we have a time restriction.
You've got a line. You've got to go.
Hey, giddy up, buddy. That's what I would say. Let's get it moving. Okay. Yeah. I'm not running a hotel here. I got people waiting. Okay.
It's a public toilet, pal. Get in, get out.
Yeah, exactly. Public means other people. Get it? Okay. All right. And by the way, I would accept gratuities. I'm just saying, yes. I would. Yeah, I would give. I'm just saying. I thank you so much. No, I'm just saying. Okay. You get it.
Yeah, I do. I understand completely.
Thank you so much.
You'd be a great potty guy. I think you'd be very entertaining in the line outside. Nintendo setting a sales record with its new Pokemon games for the Switch console. The Japanese company says the sale of the Pokemon Scarlet and the Pokemon Violet sold 10 million units in the first 3 days since launching earlier this month. The highest level of sales for a game's debut in the history of Nintendo. Of course, now everybody's going to want the Pokemon games. The two games are different from the others in the past as they are open world games and they allow players to explore the world without finishing their missions in a linear way for those gamers out there. Yeah.
Sounds pretty cool.
The news sponsored by tax attorney Steve Moskowitz for more than 30 years.
Oh, really? You're wrapping up?
I was going to did you have something else to add?
No, I just would like 30 more seconds if you can. Is there no other story besides those that you've done?
It's 8 minutes past the hour, Mark.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry. Okay, then you better wrap up. Yes.
Well, I can tell you that.
No, it's okay. You can wrap up. It's okay.
I can add more if you'd like to have more. I'm happy to add.
Leftovers?
Would you like to talk about the
now it feels like an add-on. Don't do it. No, it feels like an add-on.
The cost of Thanksgiving dinner, perhaps? Yeah. No. Okay. All right.
Can you let him finish, sir?
Okay. Well, all right. Go ahead, Kim.
Steve Moskowitz, we love you. Happy Thanksgiving. If you need help with your taxes, you got to check out Steve. He's a good people. He's a good guy, and obviously he knows what he's doing. You can call him at 888-TAX-DEAL. You can reach him online at moskowitzllp.com. I'm Kim McAllister, Mark Thompson Show News Network. Yeah.
They had to close down an entire radio station to silence him. And now, he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Thompson. The Mark Thompson Show.
Joe Fish, Sal the Shoemaker, Joe Box, and Little Anthony.
Their envy wonton killing. I don't know what a wonton killing is. I'm gonna have to look that one up.
And I wanted to apologize to the Asian community, the Asian American community.
Thank you. I'm humbled by the canned applause. Thank you very much, everybody. Please wrap up your applause if you would. Oh, okay. Thank you. Or don't wrap it up. Thank you. Luis, come on, Luis. Are you kidding me? I hope the Thanksgiving show help me with this. What I
hope the Thanksgiving show becomes a tradition.
Oh, becomes a tradition. Thank you. Love you guys. Yeah. Wow. Luis, thank you. And $49.99. I'm not going to cry, but it is my threshold.
I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry.
$49.99 is.
I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry.
Luis, I think I love you.
Big shout out.
Yeah, I give you the big shout out. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yes. What's that, Kim?
It could be what we've been known for, the big Thanksgiving show. You know, it could be like the hallmark of the Mark Thompson Show.
I think Luis is onto something, that the tradition could begin today, and you're all part of this live tradition.
I think Walmart started that whole thing working on holidays.
Oh,
yeah, so I think it's already taken.
I see. Well, I didn't know that I wasn't suggesting that we plant the flag for all humanity.
Okay.
It's just a tradition on this show that we work on Thanksgiving. That's all. Yeah. Okay. So, whoa, what is that? We've done that already. Oh my God, Tony.
It's 11 minutes past. 11 minutes past the hour.
I get it. It's 11 minutes past. Jackie Walker, thanks to the whole crew for being there all week and on Thanksgiving. Hope Kim's family gets well really soon. $22. Come on.
Thank you.
Come on now. That's
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Patricia, did you blast past one or not? JR 1714, go Lions. Spoiler, donation is the current score. Is it 1714 for real? Wow. Happy Turkey-less day. Yeah, we have no turkey, no dead animals in my house. JR, thank you.
Thank you very much.
There's Patricia CC, because Steve can't do it all by himself. Thank you. Thankful to all of you. 1999. Thank you so much, Patricia CC.
Thank you.
We do need your help, and I appreciate it very much. The world might be up in flames, but all is good here. Jules T. Thank you, Jules.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the $10, my friend. Very, very helpful. Luis, $9.99. That becomes a tradition. Sorry for the typo.
Thank you so much.
Well, Kim rescued it. She knew becomes was what you meant. That becomes
you don't have to pay to fix typos.
No, it's okay, Luis. But we do take it, and
we speak typo here at the Mark Thompson Show.
$8.10. I get what you did. Sandra Bichnor.
I'm just over the moon. Thank you so much.
Don't know. Thank you.
Right
I'm just over the moon. Thank you so much.
Lynn Love for $4.99. Thank you, Lynn.
I stand corrected.
No. Lynn Love gets a thank you, doesn't she?
Thank you so much.
Okay, there you go. William Geik for $3.
Thank you very
William.
much.
There's a Will Smith shout out. Ruth Ann Gardner, longtime listener. I am thankful for you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. $1.99. Appreciate that. Every little bit matters, and those of you who have stepped up in any way, we are so grateful for you. I'll say it over and over because it's so true, and I'll say it on days that are not Thanksgiving. Did you have one piece of business for me to do, John? A particular piece of business, or you just wanted to move me along?
Yeah, we have a show to do.
Yeah, I don't think that's all right.
Dance, monkey, dance.
Yeah, I mentioned that from Sio Jones, Mark T, Tenuta Wine, and Mark Teeny kind of day. That's right. Cheers to all the fantastic fans. I do think now Sio is the original.
I'd be willing to bet my lunch that there's alcohol.
Well, she does support the Tenuta Vineyard, where you can get the Why Are You Yelling Red, and also the Which One of You is Mark Thompson white wine, the Pinot Grigio. And, of course, the Mark merch site is supported by Sio. GetMarkMerch.com. You can get the KGO and XL T-shirts still, I think, maybe for a couple more weeks. I don't know how many are left. But thank you, Sio. And we're thankful for all of you every day, too, says Ren. Ren, who is a regular viewer also and contributor. So it's pretty tough on Thanksgiving to avoid animal products. I mean, they're kind of everywhere, right? I mean, they're in the sauces, that's dairy, and they're in the, but there are entire meals that are going without it, without anything associated with meat or turkey or chicken or whatever, right? But this is admittedly the tough day. But I saw this and I thought it was interesting. This lab-grown meat has been cleared for human consumption by U.S. regulator. This is not the meat that imitates meat. It's plant-based that imitates. This isn't that. This is meat grown from animal cells, so the actual cells of a creature, and they culture it, they grow it into food, into a piece of the animal. It's wild. I mean, it's true technology being used to, I think, alleviate a lot of suffering and make a positive difference in the world. I think there are a lot of ethical reasons to be concerned with the way we treat animals. We know them to be sentient creatures, feeling creatures. They look back at you. You see that they have feelings, they have thoughts, they have fear, they have even jealousy. They have when you pay attention to one animal, not the other. But even if you put that aside, the impact on the environment is so negative. And we talked about the effluents, the runoff from dairy farms. Remember that guy who died in the dairy farm manure lagoon? We had that story the other day. And so you have the toxification of all these, the soil and water that's around these farms. Anyway, I mention this all because if you actually go to lab-grown meat, you don't have to ask people who like meat to let go of that. And you have none of those ill effects on the environment that I've just talked about.
I have a question, though. From the perspective of a vegan, it's technically still animal cells. Somehow they had to get the cells from that animal, and then they had to grow them. So it's technically still part of a living creature, right? I mean, so I wonder if there's still some type of ethical thought that, even though it doesn't taint the environment, or you're not, looking at a creature.
Yeah, but you could say the same about
killing it.
You could say the same about plants, right? Because they don't have
that's a living thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I just mean.
So what's the difference? They don't have a brain.
No, I just mean ethically from a vegetarian or vegan.
No, I get it.
standpoint.
I get it. I would answer it this way. I mean, I think it's a really good question. If you are an ethical vegan, I can just say that. I mean, I don't hit you over the head with the vegan thing at all, and I don't finger wag, and not to judge, and I understand everybody's going to have turkey dinners today and all the rest. That's just the world we live in. I think in the process of getting off that stuff, if that's something you want to do at all, is it's a process, right? It's an evolution. But if you're doing it for ethical reasons, okay, I think this actually is an ethical workaround. Now, let me just say, personally, I wouldn't eat it because I don't want the feeling of eating flesh anymore. I've kind of let go of that. But again, I'm not finger wagging. I understand it's
No, we get it.
But I would say that on the ethical question, which you've asked, there is no suffering, there is no torture associated with this meat. And so for that reason, it's 100% clear of these ethical issues. I mean, I really think that is the reality,
Would there be suffering
100%
though?
effective. How about that?
What?
When they collect the cells from the animal, would that animal suffer?
Oh, I would presume not. I mean, you could.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would presume not. It's not. They're not hacking into an animal and taking a big chunk of meat. They only need cells. So I would say not. I mean, you can, and we'll read more about it and discuss it. I mean, you can trace it back, and you're talking about the poison fruit in effect, right? You're talking about the origins, but I think they're probably free and clear of any kind of ethical issues. There is no torture and suffering associated with lab-grown meat. So it's a breakthrough. Now,
all right, okay.
I would also say you probably won't have to make that decision for a while, because even though it's FDA approved, it's expensive, and to scale it up, that's going to take a long time. I was just playing poker the other night with a guy who, this is quite coincidentally, someone who was there who ran a big vegan food company. And he said, it was my big vegan poker game. All the vegans from around the world, we all play cards. No, he's actually, I don't even know if he is vegan. I think he's vegetarian or something. But anyway, no big deal. He actually was in Silicon Valley 10 days ago, and he tasted this stuff that we're talking about, this lab-grown meat. And he said it's amazing. I mean, right now, it would be $10,000 a burger would be the problem, but eventually they'll scale it down. It's amazing because it is meat. Of course it's amazing. It's the very thing that you're talking about. But I feel like it's a righteous use of technology.
Well, and you could clone the best meat.
Right. That's right. You could clone the best meat. The FDA has also approved the most expensive drug ever.
It's not meth.
It's a gene therapy for hemophilia B. No, meth is on the other side of things.
That's the other end. Okay.
This is interesting. The most expensive drug ever has just been cleared by the FDA. How much is this drug? The per dose charge on this drug, what would it be?
Enough to buy a vacation home for the CEO.
You mean another vacation home?
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
CEO.
Sorry. Yeah.
Anybody have a guess in the chat as to the most expensive drug ever, just approved by the FDA for hemophilia B? What's the per dose charge for this drug? Well, clearly people have... My audience already knows the answer because they follow this stuff. $8,000, probably way low. $500. Not covered by your health insurance. $50K, says John.
Is this ongoing cost?
It's the per dose cost. I don't know what the...
Per dose.
Yeah. $3 million, says Scraggy 51. $50K, says Farshid. $675, says Purdue Pharma. $700, says Sticky. These are all good guesses. Somebody did guess correctly. $2,000, says Jules. I'll tell you what the actual, the price is right here. Not $8.10.
Rich is close.
I had it. What?
Rich is close.
No, but that's straight on. John Smith has it. $3.5 million.
Per dose?
Yeah. It's a $3.5 million one-time treatment for the blood clotting disorder.
Only one time.
B. Yeah, it's a one-time. That's right. We can.
What?
Yeah. Can you come up with the money once?
Yeah.
No, it's $3.5 million. How am I supposed to go up with the money?
So what's the blood clotting disorder?
It's a hemophilia. You know, which is the right.
Sure.
So this is the blood clotting factor that you can take and help you with the FDA cleared this stuff called Hemogenics. It's an IV treatment for adults with hemophilia B. That's the less common form of the genetic disorder, which primarily affects men. I didn't know that. Right now, patients get frequent, expensive IVs of a protein.
Well, if it affects men, it will be approved.
And that's right. Yeah. If it were for women, we'd
no, not
it's
so
not
much.
The way God intended it. Right.
Right.
I don't want to mess with the maker's plan. $3.5 million price tag though is a bit of a that's tough. That's a tough meeting in the showroom, don't you think? You know, in the drug showroom.
When I worked in an emergency room, it seemed like most patients used to come in right at change of shift when, we're trying to, one group was trying to get out of there and the next group was trying to figure out what's going on with the patients that were already there. And the joke was, all we need right now is a bus full of hemophiliac children to come, go crash. and those are the patients that are going to come. Yeah. It's tough to treat. I wonder if that medicine, though, is kind of a cure. Is that a cure or what does it do? For 3.5 mil.
It's a treatment. There's no cure, but I think it's a treatment. And as I was saying, instead of the frequent IV protein that you have to, there's a special protein so instead of those frequent, and those are also expensive. I guess it's hemophilia B. Again, it's a rarer form of hemophilia, but instead of that, you'll have this treatment much less frequently. It doesn't indicate exactly how often, but.
Now you really have to be worried about market volatility.
It says a one-time treatment, so maybe it literally is one and done.
Who can afford that? $3.5 million not covered by your insurance. I just you're making it for what? A couple hundred people in the world
for the Zuckerbergs. I mean, again, it's just a.
So then, what good does all that research do to humanity?
Right.
Nothing if it's just going to sit in the
Sir,
refrigerator.
what's it going to take to get you into dosage of hemogenics today? Is there anything we can do to help? No, there's nothing. It's $3.5 million. I mean,
how's
I'm sure
your credit?
The payment plans. Can we introduce you in that? It's caused by a mutation, hemophilia, in the gene for a protein needed for blood clotting. So small cuts or bruises can be life-threatening. I mean, it's a.
It's what the royal family had. Remember Queen Victoria and her children?
Oh,
I think her husband introduced it to the royal family.
No, isn't that nice?
If we can pull our money together to pay for the military, I think we can pull our money together to pay for these people. Like, come on.
The FDA said it granted approval based on 2 small studies, including one that showed those taking the drug had increased levels of the clotting protein, and they didn't need standard treatment, or they needed a lot less. A 54% drop in bleeding problems. I mean, that's pretty impressive, So, European regulators approved a similar gene therapy for hemophilia A earlier this year, they say. BioMarine, still under review at the FDA, but it's likely also going to join that's a
They
big
should be
pharma
ashamed.
company.
They should be ashamed of themselves. Really.
For $3.5 million.
Yeah, per dose. And as a mother, if my child was suffering from that and I couldn't fit, and I can't even tell you how awful that would feel. And
Right,
so to
to
do
know
that
that
to
there's-
people,
Yeah.
to put
To
people in the
price
position
out-
to know that there's something that could help, and then you're making it not available to most people. You suck.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. I mean, it's pretty brutal. Here's something for women
Happy
everywhere.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly. And screw you, Big Pharma. Yeah, my
That's
God.
actually
There's
bio.
never been
It's
anything
bio.
like this.
It's BioMarin. That's in Marin County.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, BioMarin is I believe the company that's about to also enter the fight. I don't think that's
the European one, right?
Yeah, it's not the one that was just approved.
Right.
Yeah. But that's the
So they're cool until they come out with their price tag.
right. Yeah, John's right. The European one is done by the firm in Marin County. But Kim is so right on with the $3.5 million. I just don't know how that works.
I realize that research
There's
costs
not
a lot, and I know
Yeah.
that they paid a lot of money to get to the point where they could have a medicine. But to know that you could help people and not do it, I don't like you.
Yeah, it's a
You know what else costs a lot of money? Going to the moon. Like NASA. Like, where's Bernie Sanders? Can you imagine his head's going to explode?
Yeah. Look, one of the things that's bothered me the most about both parties, but certainly the GOP has really let down the everyman, and they've increasingly cast themselves as the everyman party because the Democrats have let down the everyman also, is the way that they just, bow to Big Pharma. I mean, it's a remarkable fact that we in America have to pay so much more for these prescription medications than anywhere else in the world. It's outrageous. And even the effort to increase the ability on the part of the government to negotiate with a handful of drugs. And by the way, that was one of my problems. Why can the government not negotiate with Big Pharma on all medications? All medications that are covered insurance. Why isn't that all part of that bill? We got it down to 10. I'm talking about U.S. taxpayers. Our legislators negotiated, and they have to negotiate with GOP. They have to negotiate with the Joe Manchins of the world. They have to negotiate with all the different wings of the Democratic Party. But also, they're trying to pass some kind of legislation. So wrapped up in all of this was legislation to negotiate down some of these bills for government-insured medications. But they've reduced that number to 10, and it's even worse than that. That's phased in. So it doesn't even start right away. So you see in that legislation the power of big money and Big Pharma. So then you cut to this kind of thing. You're praying for a breakthrough for your child or family member, or maybe you yourself, or you have hemophilia B. They come up with this stuff, and it's $3.5 million. I mean, it's insanity. And again, yeah, they need R&D, and that costs money, et cetera. But some of that R&D, if we can just cut back to the original situation with all these other medications, some of that R&D is paid for by government money. That's you and me subsidizing breakthroughs in drugs. We're not compensated for that. We don't have a piece of that. The Big Pharma is not spinning off profits to us. You see flaws in the system related to money. And as long as our system is awash in that money and it comes from Big Pharma, we're going to end up, paying the piper in one way or another. And we end up paying in this country way more for drugs than they do elsewhere. Prescription medications. And oftentimes life-saving drugs. So, I mean, insulin's a great example, and that was covered in this in the latest Biden administration legislation. But it should be followed by many more medications than ever make it into any legislation and make it out of Congress. So that I don't give thanks for our system this Thanksgiving. It's a brutal example of how money corrupts. So again,
happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Yeah, exactly. Jefferson Graham with the tech turkeys of the year. The turkey of the year, I think I know, but I'm interested in some of the other. I'm guessing, and you should guess as well. When we come back, we'll talk about the tech turkeys of the year. The former longtime USA Today tech writer Jefferson Graham, host of Photo Walks, he joins us next. Mark Thompson Show.
The Mark Thompson Show.
On the Mark Thompson Show News Network, I'm Kim McAllister. Reports tax attorney Steve Moskowitz at 888 Tax Deal. President Biden fighting for a ban on assault weapons before year's end. He said it's sickening, and we still allow people to purchase semi-automatic weapons. He made these remarks after 2 recent mass shootings, one in Colorado Springs, one in Chesapeake, Virginia, which happened within days of each other. Gas prices dropping below $3.60 a gallon to ring in the Thanksgiving holiday. Trip says the average price is $3.58 a gallon, down 2 cents from yesterday. Texas leads the nation with the lowest price at $2.93 a gallon. Hawaii, the most expensive gas at $5.19 a gallon. Clearly, they haven't driven through California. New Yorkers are in the Big Apple celebrating the 96th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. People jam the sidewalks of the 2.5-mile parade route to see their favorite character, balloons, and floats. No parade balloon mishaps as of yet, but there are several new balloons this year, including Baby Shark and Stuart the Minion. Hundreds of different clowns tossed confetti on the crowd as they made their way down the parade route. Paula Abdul, Jimmy Fallon, and Sean Paul among the many celebrities on hand.
Yeah.
A couple more tech giants about to hand out pink slips. Google may be cutting 6% of its workforce. The company reportedly set to lay off about 10,000 people said to be underperforming. Imagine having 10,000 underperforming workers. Yeah, I don't think so. Hewlett-Packard, known simply as HP, is also letting up to 6,000 workers go by 2025. There's $1 billion, $1 billion so far, being put toward an effort to keep those in cryptocurrencies industry afloat. Binance is putting that money forward, and it could rise to $2 billion in the future. Other investment firms have also donated money to the effort. The so-called recovery fund comes after FTX filed for bankruptcy, and a recent letter to employees, founder Sam Bankman-Fried noted he's deeply sorry about what happened. And 3 Atlanta fast food employees are being credited today with helping bring a newborn baby into the world. A woman went into labor while visiting McDonald's for dinner last night. A spokesperson for the fast food giant says the employees jumped to the rescue, helping deliver a healthy baby after hearing the woman scream from the restroom. The employees were given $250 gift cards to help with Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I think they should have been more. $250 for helping deliver a baby? Come on. Cough up
Look
some
at
more
you,
money.
Miss Big Spender.
Right?
I mean, how many of them were there? Maybe they're,
I don't know.
$250 is a lot of money. You work in the fries counter. You hit Steve Moskowitz. He can figure out a way you can keep all $250.
That's what they need. All right, here's a test for you. You ready? There is a cat in the United Kingdom now being named the world's oldest living of its kind. Flossie is a brown and black cat, was given official recognition from the Guinness World Records. How old is Flossie? She sets the record.
Oh, wow. That's a great question. How old is Flossie the cat from Great Britain? Oldest cat designated as such by Guinness. I'm going to go 25, maybe?
Good guess. John?
What's the normal lifespan? Like 18, 19 if at the best?
Yeah, I mean, that would be good. That would be a long life, 18, 19.
Yeah, I'd go with 29.
Ooh, okay.
Wow,
right.
29. I mean, that would be extraordinary. I guess Guinness is extraordinary. So what is the answer?
Flossie the cat is almost 27 years old. It's equal to 120 human years.
Wow.
The Guinness World Records gives her the record after she passed the record age of 26 years and 329 days. The owner calling Flossie affectionate and playful, saying she's so happy to share a house with a world record holder. So yeah, she's just about 27 years old, this cat.
Wow.
Does she
Well
have
done, Flossie.
dentures?
I don't think she has. Maybe she doesn't have any teeth. I don't know. Maybe Flossie
It's
eats the
tough.
soft
It gets
food.
tougher. The older cats, but
Tough out there,
wow.
cat. The
Tough
news
out there.
sponsored by tax attorney Steve Moskowitz for more than 30 years. Steve has put his tax knowledge to work for individuals and for businesses. You got to call Steve if you need help with your taxes. He has supported us and we love him to death. 888-TAX-DEAL or on the web, moskowitzllp.com. I'm Kim McAllister on the Mark Thompson Show News Network.
The Mark Thompson Show. The Mark Thompson Show.
Who's Mark Thompson?
What he's got going here is a situation.
I apologize to all who have been hurt. I apologize to every preacher and pastor.
You, sir, are a liar.
Calling me a liar? Is that what you calling me?
You are a cover-up artist and you are a liar.
No context will suffice to explain the hurt and anguish caused by my words.
I think I'm the most honest human being, perhaps, that God ever created.
Nobody has ever put something like this together that I've ever seen.
There's never been anything like this. There's never been anything like it.
What up, everybody? It is great to have you all here on this Thanksgiving Day. And wow, quick shout outs and then to Jefferson Graham. Jay Lee, are you kidding me? Happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays. Mark, Kim, John, and the rest of the team. $100? Wow. Jay Lee.
Thank you, Jim.
I'm not going to cry, but I am close to.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
I'm close to crying.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
$100? Come on.
Big shout out.
Give her a big shout out. Give her a.
Thank you so much.
Give her the.
Thank you so
the
much.
Will Smith thank you.
Thank you very much.
And give her a thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I say her. I don't know if it's a her or a him, Jay Lee, but thank you, her or him, Jay Lee, for $100.
Even Julia walked in to say thank you. Go ahead.
Wow.
Thanks.
That's the
I want that on a
enthusiasm.
drop. That's the best drop. I want that in a drop.
That's the enthusiasm we like around here.
Tiffany MLA says, I was so devastated when KGO went down. So to still be listening to all of you on YouTube, I'm truly grateful. Love you, Mark, John, Kim, and Tony. Wish you all tremendous success on this platform. Thanks to Steve Moskowitz as well. And gave us, Tiffany did, $49.99. I'm not going to cry.
I'm not gonna cry.
But I'm not going to cry.
I'm not gonna cry.
But that was really helpful, and a big Dan Ashley shout out to you.
Big shout out.
Yeah. Lori Dolly for $20. Thank you with a super sticker, Lori.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you truly on this Thanksgiving. Really grateful to you, Lori. Thank you. Sharon Kidd, regular listener, viewer, contributor. Happy Thanksgiving. So grateful. Mark, you got this show going. Thank you for all you do. Thank you to your crew as well. John, Kim, and Tony, Sharon Kidd for $19.99.
Thank you very much.
Give you the Will Smith. Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you so
British.
much.
Thank you so much as well for $19.99. Thank you really for your ongoing support. Same with you, Brian, regular listener. Brian.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
$9.99. Thanks, Brian. You're awesome. Thanks so much. To Wayne. Wait a minute. Wayne, I played poker with Wayne the other night. This guy is, you never want to see him at the poker table. He's very good. Wayne,
Thank you so much.
Live at the Bike. I recommend the stream. It's on YouTube. If you want to see us playing cards, you can see us there occasionally. Wayne, regular, and is an amazing guy.
So do you all have headsets like that?
Well, he's a technical guy. Like, he's both plays in the game and he runs the game. He runs the technical side. So he's like
You
a
can't wear
producer
air
also.
traffic control.
You can't wear the headset though if you're playing, because then you could be receiving some type
Yeah,
of
no, he's
message,
not wearing
right?
the headset when he's playing. He's wearing the headset when he's running things. That's the deal.
Got it. I'm with you.
Very cool, Wayne. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
I'll give you the Will Smith. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. He's a new listener, viewer, and contributor on this Thanksgiving. I give thanks to all of you who are new and just joining us. This guy, believe it or not, has helped us as well get things going. And you don't see sort of the quiet hand of Jefferson Graham necessarily, but he has really consulted me and helped build aspects of this whole effort that honestly I just didn't even know existed, and I really would prefer not to have to deal with, but he's made it easier, and he's even picked up the slack and done a bunch of stuff for us. He's the longtime former tech writer at USA Today. He now does Jefferson Graham photo walks and beyond. He is Jefferson Graham, everybody. Welcome, Jeff. Thank you for being here.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
You have now raised enough money to be able to afford to go out to lunch.
I do owe you a lunch, most certainly.
But people are contributing. It's fantastic.
It really is. It really is. It's a great audience, and it sort of speaks to the fact that a new effort like this could have enough traction with those people who have been listeners for a while to sustain us potentially. You know what I mean? So that
and Jefferson's helping you build it back better.
He is. He's helping me build it back better, and. I mean, that's the key. They knocked it.
We're going to rebuild it. And we're going to build it back better.
The key is that
one thumbnail by after the next.
Yeah, and I mean, Jeff does all those thumbnails for us, and I really do appreciate it. I mean, really, between you and Daily, it takes a lot of the technical stuff off of my plate, and I can worry about content, which is something I prefer to work on. But your Photo Walks TV is just, that's a great series that you're now doing. You were doing that, and you were doing the USA Today column for a long time. You were at USA Today for a decade, I think, right?
No, it's more than that.
Is that right? Okay.
3 of them, yeah.
Are you you were at USA Today for 30 years?
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's remarkable. Wow. Man, I need a minute.
What?
Well, time flies.
Time flies. Time flies when you're having fun. And I'm having a ball now.
You did something there that we're doing today with you, and you still do it. You know, you have your Substack and you do it, and that is the tech turkeys of the year. Yeah, thank you. All right, now you speak. I can think the number one is easy, right?
Well, the number one is easy. Now, let's just go back a little bit. So 1 year, GoPro came out with a drone that fell from the skies. That was an easy turkey of the year. Samsung had a phone that erupted into flames. That was a turkey of the year. That was pretty easy.
They did? How did we? Yeah. I didn't know that. Is that right?
What?
The battery went on fire. 1 year, Snapchat thought their new spectacles was going to be a big hit, and they had boxes and boxes and boxes of unsold spectacles. That's an easy turkey. I called the Apple Watch a turkey of the year when it came out because it was so bad. Now, they got better, but it was a turkey at the time. Now,
what did they do what did they do with the Apple Watch that made it better? What was the problem initially, and how did they improve it?
It couldn't work without the iPhone, and it was constant back and forth, and now it's actually a working watch. Also, they had all these stupid little apps that really can't do much. So they got a lot better. Last year, I gave the Turkey of the Year to Zuckerberg because they were doing all the whistleblowing that he was denying everything. Remember the whistleblower? And everything was fine.
No, the whistleblower spoke before Congress, of course.
This year, it doesn't take much to figure out who the Turkey of the Year, the Turkey of the Decade, the Turkey of all time, and Mr. Scrooge. Right?
Yeah, well, he's laid off I'm guessing, if it's Twitter, he's laid off most everybody.
Elon Musk is easily the turkey of all time.
Yeah. Don't worry, he announced there are no more layoffs.
I don't believe him.
There's nobody left.
So 7,500 people when he got there, down to, I think, about 1,000 now in 3 weeks. with an email that goes out at 11 o'clock at night, and you have until tomorrow to either get on the program or you're out. Let me know.
He's Ebenezer Scrooge 4.0 for sure.
Yeah. No worse.
Mark,
yeah.
are you going to send out an email like that? Are you hardcore?
Yeah. Add in the
I already know the answer.
misinformation.
You're not hardcore. I don't need to try to get anybody to be hardcore around here.
Now, he is giving people more warning than you guys got at KGO, though, right?
That is true. That is true.
You had 15 minutes. Yeah.
We had probably about 18 minutes and maybe not even 13 minutes.
Well, Mark had warning.
Yeah, I had. Well, John actually, and Kim too, in the day before KGO went off, there was this meeting that most people know this story, so I'll keep it real quick, but they asked this meeting to kind of come together that they'd never asked before. Like it was a sales presentation meeting. It was couched.
I'm going to have to post my text thread with Kim because I make the case over the course of an hour. Right, Kim?
Yeah, he just laid out fact after fact as to why we were not going to have a job the next day. And by the end of it, I'm like, I bought it. You're right. 100% right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he,
but to Jeff's point, I mean, we were dreading it. We hoped it wasn't true, but we were kind of thinking it might be. Then when I got the call, I just said, yeah, that was like 13 minutes before.
But it was weird. They didn't tell any of the production staff.
And that was the whole thing. They didn't want anybody. I've kind of gone back and thought about it, and that's the reason that they told me at the last instant they didn't want anybody to know before and they did keep it quiet. I mean,
that's radio. I mean, that's not surprising.
Yeah, and they had their reasons, but I just I didn't. I don't agree with them. I think they made a big mistake by not letting us take
personal belief reason.
Maybe they had a personal belief reason. Anyway,
getting back
Jeff,
to the turkeys, I have other turkeys for you. Okay. So many years I would do products. This year, it's hard to give a turkey to a product when nothing really interesting came out. And you guys can talk me out of this, but beyond the new iPhone, which is great, and the new Pixel, which is wonderful, and the new Galaxy, which is wonderful, where are the hot new products? Because I don't think anything really new and innovative came out. It's just, iteration of the old product.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
it's really, they're sort of remarketing or marketing differently that stuff that's already out there. Most of the tech companies are doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which they've been doing for many years, but usually there's something new. This year, nothing really great new. But Zuckerberg gets number 2 for his ill-fated dive into Metaland. Okay. He thinks that we're all going to be interested in virtual reality, which we're not. And he's lost hundreds.
He lost a lot of money. How much money did he pour into that?
Hundreds of millions, billions. Yeah. And they're now struggling like so many other tech companies. I don't think they'd be struggling the same way if he hadn't hadn't wasted so much money on the metaverse that nobody knows what it is.
How long before Elon Musk buys Facebook? Or Meta?
Who knows? I think he's got enough on his plate.
Yeah, he probably does. By the way, hold that thought. Let me talk to Steve. I want to come back. The rest with Jefferson Graham as we continue the tech turkeys of this year. As we continue with the long time, 3 decades, he wrote the tech column for USA Today, and he's with us now, and he's running down his tech turkeys of the last year. We continue with Jefferson Graham next. Mark Thompson Show.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Now, how about it for Steve Moskowitz on this Thanksgiving? We do a live show, and Steve joins us live as well. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Mark. And since you brought up the subject, on the horrible day of the major mistake, the advertisers weren't told too, because I was actually calling your show, wondering, why is no one answering the show? And and the way I found out, I was calling the show, major advertiser. I was calling the show. I said, well, nobody's answering the phone. And then
God, that's unbelievable. You'd think the account executive in charge of your account would at least let you know, hey, How did you find out then?
He called me later and said, urgent, I got to talk to you right away. So I said, okay, urgent. And I said, well, are you in jail? Did your wife throw you out? Is the IRS chasing you? What's going on? And he said, no, none of those. But then he mentioned what they did. And I went, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. And what I brought up was, they tried that once before when they tried to be KCBS, all news. And remember what happened. And they finally went back to the traditional. And, there's so many beloved listeners. And again, I can't say enough, because when we get a new client, one of the first things we ask is, well, how'd you hear of us? And they would talk about it. And people were saying, like, they spent their day with you. It was, that's for a lot of people, that's their friend, their family. They've invited you into your home. You become part of their connection. Lives.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, to have that torn asunder, it's like if a beloved family member died. It's a big deal. And I personally think that was such a mistake. And I also think that when your show and Nikki's show and Chip really takes off and gets a lot of listeners, they're going to be so sorry that those listeners aren't back on old Station X. And to me, I think that was a terrible mistake. I think it was a terrible mistake as a listener, a loyal listener for countless years. As your fan, I've told you I've been your fan since you were on Fox in LA. And as an advertiser and a businessman, I mean, it's just wrong. But nobody asked me. And again, as a major advertiser, I found out when nobody answers the phone.
Yeah, I mean, I think John should have called you. I kind of blame John on that one.
Well, we were taken away to a meeting, but you know who actually it was? It was Clark Reed. Clark Reed went down the hallway and yelled at the general sales manager and said, "You can't treat a Steve Moskowitz like this." So it was actually.
Oh, wow.
Clark
Yeah,
Reed.
we all knew your value to the station, but apparently the station wasn't aware of your value to
the station
I
didn't
guess
know.
not.
Well, and I reached out to Steve later that day because, we did not know. We did not know.
Yeah, no, I know John did call you later, but I'm so glad that we were able to reconstitute things here, and we will grow audience. Sadly, a bunch of audience doesn't know that we're here, so we're trying to get them in all the places that they might frequent.
As you know, I'm working with my colleagues to bring that about as well, because I think the whole country would enjoy it. So one of the things that we're working on right now is looking to find the former listeners of Station X and saying, hey, I got some real good news for you. When I talk with new clients, I just tell them that that's one at a time. What we're working for, and there's, I'm going to use the technical term, fancy technology that guys who specialize in this and our colleagues of mine are working on right now. And what we're doing is we're actually searching for the former audience from Station X to say, hey, we got some really good news. And, you can hear Mark and Nikki and now Chip. And I think that your audience is going to grow and grow and grow. And then the next thing too is, unlike at Station X, where it's pretty much a local audience, we're looking to take this nationwide. And I think Station X is going to rue the day they made this, in my opinion, horrible mistake.
Oh, rue the day.
Rue the day. Rue the day.
I'll show you Station X. I want to get back to Jefferson Graham, and I'll let you know we'll run a little bit long here today, everybody who's just tuning in, because I want to just get a full segment out of Jefferson Graham as well. But Steve, I'm glad that you detailed that, because your industrious support, it's more than just buying time and a presence here, but you've been really industrious about putting your people in touch with us and reaching out, as you suggested, in some of the ways that you've described. That is so exciting, and it really represents immense potential for us. So thank you for that as well on this Thanksgiving.
It's my pleasure, and I'm going to enjoy, watching you just go through the roof. And, like, I'm a very positive person. And when something bad happens, I say, well, maybe actually we should be grateful for that, because that's going to be the start of going to some places that we never would have gone had, Station X not lost their minds.
Jefferson Graham just messaged us that it's worldwide now. Our reach is worldwide. It's why, and in fact, John will occasionally look to see where our show is being taken in, and it is into some exotic places. And these are downloads. These aren't just people who clicked on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's really kind of wild. More on that maybe next week or something, or tomorrow. We'll have another live show tomorrow. Quickly on this Thanksgiving, as people come to your house for Thanksgiving and they bring their various receipts and tax forms.
What else would you bring on Thanksgiving?
That's the way I would do it deliberately. Go, okay, look, for an hour, I'll set up the office. You guys can come in with your receipts, and then happy Thanksgiving. Then we can go eat.
You know, Mark, since we're taking a little extra time, I'm going to tell you a funny story of many moons ago when I was in law school. And one of my classmates, as a student, one of my classmates had a tax question. And I said, oh, and, you know, as a lawyer, the first thing they teach is you don't just say something. You have to give the citation, you know, the proof where it came from. And I said, well, get your Internal Revenue Code and on page. And he said to me, Steve, I know this is going to come as a shock to you, but not every American home is equipped with its very own Internal Revenue Code.
It is true. I mean, honestly, your services are at a premium. So if I was invited to your house, it would be almost difficult to, you know,
I would come with a file,
right?
Plug in a box.
I look forward to that happy day, Mark.
If I was going to an orthopedist's home, I would bring my MRIs, my scans. It would be, you know, it would be a whole presentation I would have. Similarly, with you.
I understand.
Right.
and of course, welcome you and Kim and John. We have quite the party.
Yeah, it would be really fun. So
cocktails with Moskowitz. Yeah.
As we leave you today. We'll just review that, you know, year-end planning, so very important, and they can get it all right there at Moskowitz LLP. And your number is 888-TAX-DEAL. Reach Steve at 888-TAX-DEAL. Whatever your situation, small business owner, larger business owner, individual, obviously, a sole proprietor, etc., Steve can help you. And getting you connected to ERC and government money and all those opportunities we talk about all the time, obviously, those exist as well. There are opportunities. We pay into this government, and damn it, you deserve to get something back from that government as well. It should not just be a one-way street. So 888-TAX-DEAL. Steve, MoskowitzLLP.com. You can reach Steve that way, Moskowitz, MoskowitzLLP.com. So appreciate you, my friend. Thank you very, very much.
And I appreciate you, and so do my clients that are your listeners and viewers. They just love it, and they're so happy you're back, as am I.
Steve Moskowitz, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. All right. Right on.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Welcome back into the mix, Jefferson Graham. Jefferson Graham is at Jefferson Graham on Twitter. His website is jeffersongraham.com. We're in the middle of talking about tech turkeys for the year. It was his long-time feature, and he still does it on Substack. But in his USA Today column, which is 30 years at USA Today, wow, he used to do this regularly, and now he's sharing some of them with us. So get back to what you were speaking of. Anyway, we touched on a couple. We touched on the metaverse. We touched on you know, the Apple Watch you took off your tech turkey list, right?
Yeah, it got better.
It got better. Okay. Yeah. Please continue.
Which is good, which is what Apple does well. I think they when a product comes out, they make it better. I mean, look at the iPhone 14 and look at the iPhone 3. I mean, it's unbelievable. Anybody who checks my YouTube feed, I shot the bird blast off this morning at 6:30 in Manhattan Beach, 4K video, 24 frames a second. This is I think it's one of the best clips I've ever picked up. So check it out, youtube.com/PhotoWalksTV. It's beautiful. But speaking of Apple, let's give Tim Cook number 3. Okay, Tim Cook is the CEO of Apple.
Tim Cook,
he's a tech turkey. Here's why, okay? They made an announcement a few weeks ago that they're not going to be able to fulfill all their iPhone orders because of problems in China. This is called kicking the stupid can down the road. This has been a problem that you could have seen 10 years ago. The political situation in China and what's going on with health stuff, and then the way they treat their employees at the factory. There's been protests and strikes. And how hard is it? I mean, I don't know. I've never made an iPhone before. Okay, I'm not a CEO, but just logic says get out of China. Make the iPhone in other places. I believe they should make them in California. I believe they should make them in Canada. I mean, there's got to be something that you could do. Now, this is called kicking the can. They're going to lose millions and millions of dollars because they didn't take action. So what do you think,
They
Mark?
are in China. I just want to follow the trail back because of the cost of labor. Pretty much that's it, right?
No, it's the cost of labor, and it's the fact that
Supply.
the people there know how to make it, and and all the supplies are there. But they know how to quickly make an iPhone. So train people. Open up Apple University. You know, how many people do you know who would go to Apple University where they're guaranteed a job afterwards?
You're right. They have to change the way they do things. Silicon Valley generally has to do that, though, don't they, Jeff? They farm out, let's be honest, a lot of stuff to contract workers. We talk about it on this show from time to time. You know, many of them are not in this country. Some are in this country for a short time for those with those contract deals. You know what I mean, with visas that permit them to work. Silicon Valley is a real offender in that area.
And if the iPhone costs $200 more because it's made in America, I believe that the American public will say, "Fine, I'll deal with it." You know,
I don't know about that. I know the American public, and I think they're going to go.
What?
$200 more. Why? But I think there are those among us who wouldn't be bothered by it. But I'm just saying.
Okay. Now,
Cheap
speaking of
rules the day, but go ahead. Yeah.
Irresponsibility, I'll go for Jeff Bezos. He's no longer the CEO of Amazon, but he's still the chairman. He's still something. And he gave an interview where he said he didn't think people should be buying things this holiday season. He thinks that they should be holding onto their money because of the economy. Now, that may be a good sentiment, but if you're the guy running Amazon telling your customers not to buy anything, that's just stupid. What do you
Maybe
think,
he
Mark?
has full. I think he has full confidence. It doesn't matter what he says. I think that's virtue signaling on his part. I think that you know, it's masquerading as advice that no one is going to take.
Well, maybe just buy one rocket this holiday season.
It's like if you said today, Thanksgiving, look, everybody should just cut down on the amount of food that they eat at the table. That's probably good advice, but nobody's going to do it. And I think in the same sense, you know, that's the way the Bezos advice lands.
Okay. Well, I thought it was dumb.
It is. It's just crazy.
Number 5 is going to go to the guy who's going to be running Disney Plus and ESPN. Tech Turkey is actually Bob Iger. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Bob Iger got brought back as the savior to save Disney because nobody else could do it. No other human being in this world could save Disney but him. And this is a problem that he created by picking the wrong person and having a bad succession plan. So he initially treated as a hero, but actually it's his mess up. He messed up 2 years ago.
You saw his succession. Jeff's so right about the way that it was handled, but his rehire has in the contract that he's to work with the board on any successors. And in other words, they put language in that would seem to acknowledge the fact that he really botched the succession problem, the very problem that you identified.
Now, I'm not a CEO. I've never run a company, but if I'm there, day one, I'm looking for the replacement, and I'm training the replacement and bringing the replacement to every meeting. How about you?
That's what they did at Apple, right? Tim Cook was, he was ready to go.
Yeah. Number 6 goes to subscriptions and streaming services. All the prices went up. You knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen. And there's fewer things to watch on each one of the services. And I think they're killing themselves. And number 7 goes to Black Stupid Friday. Okay. Tomorrow is Black Friday. Everything's on sale. Nothing's on sale. If it's $5 off, $10 off, it's gotten ridiculous. It used to actually mean something. You used to get that ad on Sunday and you'd read it and there'd be TVs that were $100 that were $500 a week ago. And everything I've been seeing is $20 off, $10 off, and made worse, more expensive than they were at last year's Black Friday. So last year's Black Friday, I bought Apple AirPod Pros for $175. And I got a free 6-month subscription to Apple News or whatever. This year, the deal is $199 and normally $249. So It's $25 more this year. Apple, speaking of
ahead.
Apple,
they're
having gift cards. They'll give you a $50 gift card if you buy an iPhone 13, not the 14. They'll give you $75 for buying the old AirPods. And on it goes. Black Friday is about selling junk that nobody wants.
Clearing inventory. That is wild. Absolutely wild. God, that's extraordinary, man. That is extraordinary. I think, as you say, the mythology around Black Friday has grown up around media's helped it, right? The people who line up at Best Buy, the people who line up at Filene's basement, whatever, right?
They used to send me out every Thanksgiving, Black Friday. They would send me out and I'd be interviewing people in line,
John, do you want to tell her or should I? We're sending you out tomorrow.
Sending me out?
How about for Cyber Monday?
Okay,
it's really like Cyber November, right?
Okay, Cyber Monday is another made-up holiday. Nothing is actually on sale. Here's my advice to people: if there's something that you want, go look for it. Maybe it's a little cheaper, but what do you want? I want a corduroy shirt. I got this on Amazon. I want another one. Maybe it'll be $5 off. Maybe it'll be $10 off. So go in there with the list and take a look. I just bought a light. You can't tell because of the shadow right over here, but I bought a new light that was $275. Today on Amazon, it's $214. So I think I'm going to return this light.
I was just going to say, come on.
But Jeff Bezos says you're not supposed to buy it. So
yeah, but I don't pay attention to him.
Ooh, it's a wild idea, but it just might work.
That's right. Return the old one and get the less expensive one.
When my friend Mark says, "Come on the show," I know I need to light myself, so I had to go.
Well, you look good. I mean, the bar is low here. And by the way, I'm getting rid of the banner. It was a good idea at the time, but I think, I don't think it quite. It looks good in person, but it's got a reflective quality. We just may have to get another one. It's not expensive.
We need a matte finish.
Yeah,
I like the coffee cups.
It darkens.
The coffee cups are there, and I can put other merch up there, like I can. By the way, the merch, we've gotten requests for a long sleeve tee, and we are coming out with a long sleeve tee at the getmarkmerch.com site, and we're coming out with a beanie.
Yeah,
at the getmarkmerch.com site. So getmarkmerch.com is stepping up the game. That's Sio Jones is behind a lot of that.
You know what you could put behind you? You could put a big screen TV that could have your logo or other background.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what
or a computer monitor. You could buy a new 32-inch TV for $100 today.
On Black Friday.
Well, that's up. We've gotten a couple of $100 donations. Maybe we can do that. Yeah.
Here's another one. I saw TCL 399 50-inch built-in Roku. Sounds pretty great, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I paid $299 for it a few months ago.
And what's the new
TV.
price?
Yeah, the new price is $399.
They're messing with us.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
You just don't get it.
No,
do
I
you?
do. I do get it. I do.
It's an inflation sale.
Right. So essentially, the public is presuming that all the prices are lower, and the reality is many have been jacked up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to have a nice Amazon Echo speaker, you could still get $20 off. Who doesn't have one?
Right.
Do you guys have one? All of you?
No.
Well, we don't. We're a bad sample group, I think maybe Kim might be the closest to a normal person on the show. Kim, do you have a Amazon Echo?
I have what is the Google thing of that? Ask Google.
It's the home.
Yeah, the Google Home, but we keep it unplugged and we don't use it, so no.
Yeah.
It's now called a Nest Home because they want to mess you up. At first it was Google Home, then it's Nest Home. Then it's Nest Hub, then it's Max, then it's Plus.
I try to limit the number of microphones connected to the internet.
Kim, I bet if you went out to interview people today standing online, you wouldn't find anybody.
Probably not, but it used to be that tonight people would start. They put pitch their tents out in front of the, Fry's Electronics or whatever, Best Buy, and there would be a line of people in tents camping out, and they would be ready to be interviewed and getting out there and, yes, I'm going to get the best deals and that. And then you'd get there at 5 a.m, the line's outside Target. So yeah, it used to be one of those, and
then everybody gets trampled when the door opens, right?
Yeah.
I guarantee you, Kim, let's go to Fry's. There will be nobody there.
No, yeah, Fry's is dead. Yeah.
Yes. So if you may not know this, but in Arizona, Fry's is a supermarket. It has the same logo and everything. Yeah.
Wow.
No, I didn't know that. Website is jeffersongraham.com. Instagram is the same as it is on Twitter, at Jefferson Graham. Yeah.
Hey, I need 12 new subscribers to my newsletter. What do you say?
Oh, okay.
Can 12 people sign up today?
All I need are
How do
12
you sign up?
subscribers.
jeffersongraham.substack.com.
That's
Okay,
the
I'll
other
do it
thing.
right now.
Why don't we start posting that when Jeff comes in, John? jeffersongraham.substack.com.
Okay, we'll change.
I can do that. And we, in addition, we
It'll
post
be the
Jefferson-
happiest Thanksgiving ever.
We post jeffersongraham.com. We can post the other. I wish we had more time. We ran over because I wanted to visit with you. You've been really great, pal.
No problem.
You know how I loved your dad, man. I worked with him at Cron, and he was exploding with Bay Area backroads at the time, and it's just a thrill for me on some level to be working with, continuing to work with the family and you. So thanks so much. Yeah.
Certainly, and happy Thanksgiving.
You're a real resource, and I encourage people to take it in. So that video you're talking about is on YouTube right now. Yes?
Yeah, it's also in my newsletter today. So if you subscribe, you'll see it right there.
jeffersongraham.substack.com. Go there, give him 12 additional
12 new ones,
subscribers.
Or at least 10. Yes.
Oh, now he's negotiated down.
Well, I'll
Now
settle
it's
for 10. I'll settle for
10. jeffersongraham.substack.com. You just subscribe. It's free. So go for it. Jeff, love you. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay,
Thanksgiving.
yeah. All right. Good stuff.
The Mark Thompson Show.
Wow. That is about the most amazing thing that's happened on this show. That is the biggest donation we've ever received. And Kim C., on this Thanksgiving Day, I am grateful for the Mark Thompson Show and everybody on the crew. Make it something to look forward to every day. Blessings to all of you. Wow. $199. I mean, that is unreal. And I'm not going to cry, but I would say I literally might.
I'm not gonna cry.
I might choke up. I literally mean it. I mean, you don't know how
might
hard
bring
we
the
work.
band back, for an encore.
That's right. I would almost do whatever for Kim C. $199. I certainly would give you the Big Dan Ashley shout out.
Big shout out.
And a second Big Dan Ashley shout out.
Big shout out.
And a third big shout out.
Big shout out.
And then I give you
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And then I give you a
Thank you
British.
so much.
Thank you. A British thank you so much. And then a second British thank you so much.
So much.
Then I give you the Will Smith thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. And a second Will Smith.
Thank you very much.
And then I give you a thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And then I'll give you a second thank you, thank you, thank you,
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And then I'll give you
Thank you so much.
another. And then I'm going to give you, do I have it? We'll do
it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
No, that's not what I wanted.
I'm moved by your generosity.
Hey, everybody wants to
just
participate
too good.
today.
That's really nice.
That's what I wanted. I'm just
over the moon. Thank you so much.
And a third.
I'm just over the moon. Thank you so much.
Kim, thank you. Quite seriously. That's extraordinarily generous. Thank you. Kim, say something nice.
I'm incredibly
John is
moved
incapable
by
of saying something
Kim's
nice.
generosity. No, that's so kind. And I as I mentioned in the chat, whether you support us financially like Kim just did in such a generous way, or you give us the gift of spending your time with us and subscribing to the show, I am moved by the fact that you're here. I can't be more grateful for all of you. Honestly, I actually will cry. So thank you so much for being here and for helping us do this, because we really want it to be successful, and you're all part of that. I'm very grateful.
Very well said. Thank you very much. Tiffany MLA, didn't we? This is great. I thought she made a contribution earlier in the show. $49.99. I was so devastated when KGO went down. So to still be listening to all of you on YouTube, I'm truly grateful. Love you, Mark, John, Kim, and Tony. Wishing you all tremendous success on this platform. Thanks to Steve Moskowitz as well. I think I read
This
that,
is a
but
new
again,
one. This came in at 11:36.
Oh wow! Then I am not going to cry, but I am close to crying.
Big shout out.
And a big shout out, Dan Ashley shouted, and a British.
Thank you so much.
I want a British thank you, though.
Thank you so much.
The British ones just sound a little bit better. Thank you, Tiffany, so
I
much.
love them. Yeah.
Joe Fong for $19.99. Thank you, Joe, with a super sticker.
Much.
Yes. So great. Thank you for the super stickers. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the donations. You know, our Luis, Station X equals Turkey of the Year. You're right. Across all categories every year.
Thank you very much.
You're right, Luis. And thank you for the $9.99. Right on, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
What's
you.
funny
thank
is
you.
Awesome.
people are still texting 808810 to complain because I'm still getting it on my phone because they didn't shut it off.
Oh, my God.
It's funny, but it's also sad.
It is. It is. We've had a fun time here. I know our live listenership is down because of the holiday, and there's football and all the other things. And thank you guys who've not only participated live, but you've made record donations here. I mean, that's just incredible what we've seen here today. I hate to make it about money, but it does take money just to keep the lights on. So thank you so very much for that.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Yeah, John is in a rare moment of sincerity. He and
Smash it with your iron rod.
Smash it with your iron rod. Give us a like if you're
I don't
watching
want to
in
let
replay.
you guys go. Like I'm not done with you on this Thanksgiving. I'm grateful for you, Mark and John, and everyone in the chat room. I'm so thankful. Like, you know, huge hug.
It is true. We have a good crew, and we have really great listeners, and it really is something that will be exciting to continue.
I have thanked everyone on Patreon and YouTube.
Yeah, John's really good about interacting and thanking, and
I just don't make a big show out of it, Mark.
How dare you, John?
Do you know who I am? I'm kind of a big deal.
Speaking to me that way. Well, we're going to go out like this. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget, it's not about money, but at your Thanksgiving table, if you could have everybody take out their phone, hopefully that'll be all they're taking out, and have them open the YouTube app and go to The Mark Thompson Show. There, it's free just to subscribe, and you can tell them you don't have to ever watch The Mark Thompson Show, but please subscribe. If you can get 3 people to subscribe, that would be great. So I thank you for your support and for all the new subscribers that come on board. We have a live show tomorrow. Avila, Shore, Snyder, everybody will be here tomorrow. It's going to be a big show.
Stevens for the Mark Thompson Show. Bye-bye.
Out of time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.